Thank you. All right, so we are getting started. Happy Wednesday, everyone. A couple more weeks left to the session. I actually think that I have our dates off, so you guys are going to get a couple of weeks for free because the next session is not starting until the 23rd. So technically, you still have 4 weeks left. So you're actually getting a couple of weeks for free. So keep that in mind. If you didn't watch the last meeting and you don't know what I gave you guys as part of my birthday thing, you should be watching that. Today's meeting is going to be about walking pads and about NEAT, which I'm going to get into. But I also wanted to say, what can I do to help me lose weight faster and lose body fat faster? So the number one thing is don't cheat on the weekends. Bam, right? Traditional cheat meals, first of all, create unhealthy relationships with food. You're rewarding yourself on the weekend for being good during the week. You should not be doing that. Instead, you guys should be focusing on making healthier versions of your favorite meals, of your favorite treats, and practicing portion control. That's what macros is all about, knowing how much of something you should eat so that you don't have to have a cheat or a treat meal. And moderation is the key to enjoying the food you love without taking yourselves off your weight loss progress. Why would you want to take 4 steps forward and 2 steps back on the weekend? I know it happens. I get it, but stop. Basically, you're just spinning your wheels. And I don't mind you being in the app and I don't mind you paying me, but I would like to see progress. And when I see progress during the week and then I don't see progress after a weekend, that is kind of sad for me to see because I know that all of you can be successful in staying on point and focus 7 days a week, right? This is a lifestyle change. You're not on a diet Monday through Friday and then eat whatever you want on Saturday and Sunday. The second thing is to help you with the weight loss and fat loss faster is know your next meal. So planning ahead is a huge game changer, right? When you plan ahead, you're more apt to make healthy choices. You're putting it in your app so you know where you are. By having that meal in place, knowing your plan, it helps you remove any stress or guessing what you're going to eat and making those daily eating decisions. It'll also help with the boredom of food, because if you think ahead, you can plan and change up your meals versus just eating the chicken and the broccoli and the sweet potato fries. I don't mind doing that. But if you're that person that has food boredom, then you really need to make a cognitive decision to not do that. And then you also, by planning ahead, or not even planning ahead, but meal planning, you're helping take away your emotions while you eat, or eating because of an emotion, or eating because of stress. And that also will lead to unhealthy decisions. So the benefits of meal planning definitely does not need to be complicated. You can meal plan the simplest food. You don't have to cook either. You just have to plan what you're going to eat. My sister and a suggestion, and my sister does this, I should say, is make a weekly plan. And then make a grocery list based on your plan. And then have everything you need for that plan. Or know where you're going to eat that food if you're going out to eat. That will help you decide where you can put in those nooks and crannies of stuff you really want to treat yourself to during the day. It's not a treat. It's not a cheat. It's not a reward. It's just something that you put in your day that'll help you stay focused and not feel like you're missing out. It'll also make it easier to resist temptation of going for fast food or any unhealthy snacks when you're in a rush. So if I could give you any advice, it is don't cheat and plan ahead. The top 2 things that will help you with fat loss and or weight loss. It will also help you with muscle building. So not everybody in the program is, to lose weight. Some people are in there to build muscle. So it'll definitely help you with that as well. So a bunch of people had said, well, should I go get a walking pad? I don't have any room in my house for a treadmill. And I really was thinking about doing a walking pad. Or what do you think about a walking pad under your desk? So first of all, I'm going to say 100%, if you do not have a treadmill and if you don't have a treadmill at home, definitely get a walking pad. But if you have the ability to do a walking pad at your office, 100% make that investment, because you will get that return. Mike has a walking desk, so I bought him a walking pad. And he uses it all the time, and he's down 12 pounds, which is amazing. Yeah, he has to, per doctor. So I'm not going to say he's tracking his macros, but he is very mindful and looks at everything. I buy these egg white sandwiches. The other day I said, why don't you have that for lunch? He's like, well, you threw the box away. I don't know what the macros are. I'm like, they're in my app. I could tell you what the macros are, and they're healthy. We wouldn't have it if you couldn't have it. All right. It's egg whites. Seriously. Egg white sandwich. Like the eggs are the bread. Ridiculous. But anyway, okay. So the thing with the walking pad, not a treadmill, is that is going to help you get your steps. You obviously can't run on a walking pad. And it's more about your NEAT. And so I want to tell you guys what NEAT is first. So NEAT is, and I wrote it down so because I always forget the actual definition of it. So NEAT is simply the calories that your body spends during activities of daily life. So walking around, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That means your body is burning calories by not doing a structured fitness or exercise program or workout. So hopefully everybody's clear on that. I'm going to talk about how you can increase your NEAT if you don't have a walking pad. But what happens is when we increase our NEAT, we increase our BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, which is also called your resting metabolism. When you increase your resting metabolism, your body burns fat faster and more. That is the whole goal. So if we're sedentary, we're not going to lose the weight or body fat as quickly as we should, right? So you really want to make sure, like walking around the house, walking around the store, doing your dishes, even fidgeting. If you can get a fidget ring, get a fidget ring. That's neat. I don't know if you've ever seen those before. Going up and down your stairs, cleaning your house, doing any kind of manual labor. If you're doing your gardening or shrubbing, or I used to joke around and call myself the mulchinator, because when I had my house, and I would do our own mulch. And then I would go to my parents' house and bring 20 bags of mulch. And I would say, oh, I'm getting all my exercise in. Well, I really wasn't getting my exercise in, but I was getting my NEAT in, which is still burning those calories. It's basically anything that requires your body to move without structured exercise. So walking on a pad or walking on a walking pad is not considered structured exercise because you're actually working, right? You're doing your desk stuff, or at home, you have a walking pad, you're watching TV. I don't want to say you're not getting your heart rate up, but you're not getting your heart rate up as if you are exercising. So before I talk about the walking pads, which I'm going to talk about too, I'm going to talk about how you can increase your NEAT on a daily basis. So these small changes will make huge strides in your progress, not just physically, but mentally. First one is take a 20 to 30-minute walk every day. People always, when they give me their information, I would say, how many hours a week are you exercising? And then they give me this big number. And I was like, you're exercising 8 hours a week? Now take out your steps. And then it goes down to 2 to 3, right? Steps do not count as exercise. That is something you should be getting done bare minimum. Even myself, I get between 15 and 18,000 steps a day intentionally. If I get home and I'm at 10 or 12, I walk on the treadmill. That's not exercise. I don't know what that dinging is. I've been trying to figure it out, but my previous workout training my client, it kept dinging too, and I don't know what it is. Park as far away from the store as you can. How many of you, and you don't have to raise your hands because my sister's the only one on that I could see. How many of you circle the parking lot to find the closest parking spot? That is my biggest pet peeve. You know who does that? The person I live with. He does it all the time. I'm like, Mike, there's a spot, seven spots right down there. Park right there. No, if I just come back, that guy will be pulling out. I could see he just got in his car. I'm like, you need to park. We need to walk. The only time I would do that is if it was pouring rain and I didn't have an umbrella. You will always see my car with the Fit For You license plate all the way at the end of the parking lot. You will know it's me because I will never look for a close parking spot. And I will leave places with people walking out and they'll say, oh, I'm parked right here. Where are you? I'm like, oh, all the way down there. And they're like, why'd you park all the way down there? There's so many spots. I said, because I got to get my steps in. Same thing I do at Orange Theory. So we give out wipes when we transition. And I'm at one end, and then number 14, let's say, is at the other end of the room. And I'll always say, who needs a wipe? Well, there's a wipe container at the other end of the room. And the person all the way at the end, they're like, I'll just grab it. I'm like, no. Let me bring it to you. I need to get my steps in. And everybody looks at me like I'm crazy. But those are the ways of not exercising, but getting your steps in. Take walking meetings whenever possible. So Tate that I work with, he never talks on the phone sitting down, ever. He will walk the studio, walk the plaza. You always know he's on a major call or something, that he's going to be on the call for a while because he walks, which I think is very cool. I'm the opposite. I actually talk only when I'm in my car, so I'm sitting, but that's pretty much the only time I have to talk on the car. I wish I knew what that was. It's going to drive me crazy. All right. Use a standing desk, and then it's / walking pad. Huge. That's on my list. Mow your own lawn instead of paying a lawn service. Instead of riding your bicycle locally, instead of taking your car locally, ride your bicycle. Take the stairs instead of the elevator and escalator. I don't think I ever get on an elevator when I'm on a cruise. I will run the stairs and I'll run him back down. From the heels, I'll walk him up. It drives me crazy because I make him take the elevator by himself. He won't take the stairs. So I'm like, I'll meet you on the 12th floor. He's like, Shannon, we're on floor 1. I'm like, all right, I'll meet you there. And then my calves are so sore the next day because you're climbing stairs, but I always do it. When you board and get off to go to the ports and you got to go all the way to the bottom, and we're usually like on 12 or 13, something like that. I gotta walk them off. Well, no, 12 and 13 is usually the gym or the spa. So we're probably like 7 or 8 or something, but I always have to walk. I always walk them. Always. Instead of going to the bathroom on the floor that you work in, go to a different floor. If you have that opportunity, obviously. Pace when talking on the phone. Mike does that. Drives me insane. He will walk back and forth along that bar line right there on the phone, back and forth. Back and forth to the point where I have to go upstairs when he's on the phone because it's so annoying, but he's doing the right thing. So NEAT is one of the most powerful tools you have for weight loss if you use it. It will also be necessary for maintenance. And it's also one of the most overlooked and underappreciated tools to reach your goals. So I want you guys to message me one thing that you could do NEAT that you don't do now. I gave you guys a bunch of ideas. Don't give your laundry to your kids to bring them upstairs. Bring your laundry upstairs. Don't ask your kids to throw you down your pajamas. Go up and get them. Right? Those are all considered NEAT. Okay, so because counting steps is so important, if you're not getting your steps in and you have a hard time getting your steps in, that's when you need to consider getting a walking pad. So by getting our steps in, we increase our NEAT. We already talked about that. And therefore we calorie burn, right? We burn calories more. It will also improve our overall health. So just adding 1,000 extra steps every day, 1,000 steps, adding it to whatever you're doing right now, increases your cardiovascular health and lowers your heart rate. Decreases your blood pressure and stroke risk. It will, even if genetics plays a strong role in your cholesterol numbers, this will help it. It will decrease your cortisol level and increase your endorphins. And walking will increase your bone strength. So if your doctor told you that you're borderline osteoporosis, you need to get your ass up and start walking. Walking pads are usually about $300 to $400. I've seen them in my deals group. I've posted them under $100. Every day I post one, every day. I'm going to post a couple if I can find them in the app under the Amazon group. So you guys can see that. So getting in less than 5,000 steps per day, having the walking pad would add at least 1,000, which is huge. They say that people that have walking pads at their office go from 5,000 to 6,000 steps a day to 10 to 12. That's like on average. And that basically is usually 2 to 3, not even 3 miles per hour, 2 to 2.8 miles per hour. That is so slow. At Orange Theory, we don't let you power walk under 3.5. A new person, maybe 3.0. So a lot of people are like, well, am I going to be able to do my normal job walking on a walking pad? Yes, it is so slow. If you've never tried it, go to a gym and just try it. Just walk on a walking pad. Ask your friend, or walking on a treadmill. Ask your friend if they have a treadmill. Can I get on your treadmill and just do 0.0 to do 2.0 so I could see how slow it is? Or if your friend has a walking pad, because everybody has walking pads now, I feel like. You really want to make sure that you guys do that. So by not having one of those walking pads and being less sedentary, from sitting too long, we get back and neck pain, right? Obviously, I get it just sitting here working. We get weight gain, decreased cardiovascular health, increased risk of diabetes, varicose veins, and deep vein thrombosis. So that was another reason why I got Mike that, because he has those thick veins that pop in one of his legs. The doctor said he doesn't need to do anything about it, but if it starts to hurt, then you really need to get, the salt injected into it, the saline injected into it so they go away. But it will help that. It is because you are basically cutting off your blood circulation because you're sitting all day long. Someone said, yeah, my ass spreads because I sit all day long. That doesn't really happen, just so you know. Your booty doesn't get bigger because you're sitting on it. It's what you're doing while you're sitting on it, probably eating shit you shouldn't be eating, right? So a lot of times when you have your walking pad or even a treadmill and you're walking at those speeds, it'll help decrease distractions. You'll stay focused. I do a lot of my work on the treadmill. Most of my work is on my phone anyway, so I do a lot of the work on there. By keeping it slower, you won't get motion sickness. So you should be able to do it, and you're going to keep moving while you're working. Now, I'm not saying you're working on an important PowerPoint and you should be moving on the treadmill. Obviously not. If it's something you cannot do, don't do it. But when you have the opportunity to do it, then definitely do it. So are walking pads worth it for weight loss? 100%. They increase your step count. They turn your NEAT into overall increasing calorie burn. So whether you're walking on it or whether you're working on it, whether you're scrolling social media, maybe you're watching TV, you're going to be so surprised at how much of a difference adding that extra walking casually is going to add to your weight loss, your cardiovascular health, and everything we already talked about. Does anyone have, I know Jessica has a walking pad because she had gotten it when I did one of my deals. Stacey, do you have a walking pad or a treadmill at your house? Treadmill. But you usually try to do it power walk? Okay, so now just slow it down. That'll be better for your knee. 2.0, 2.5. You're going to feel like you're crawling, but you're going to get something done. Like it will make a difference. A lot of us are like, well, I can't really do 3.5, so why even bother? Right? So by doing it slow, you are still doing it. You are still making progress. You're doing what needs to be done. This meeting was actually going to be short. I had intended it on being short. She says she loves hers. Hold on, I want to read what she says. I'll read out loud. I love mine. It has helped with my injury too. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you just said that. I love hearing that. I am not, I don't work for a walking pad company or anything like that. But it's been, so many people have asked me about it. So I figured, why not? I would talk about it. Plus the NEAT is so important. So just to review again, don't cheat on the weekends. Know your next meal. I love that. Know your next meal. I'm going to use that all the time now. Know your next meal and get out there and increase your NEAT. Those three things are going to be like magic if you can do them all together. Even if you've been in the program for a year, 2 years, 3 years, they will still make a difference because you're not doing one of those things. I know not everybody is knowing their next meal, not cheating on the weekends, and getting in their NEAT. So those are super important. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you, Bonnie, Jessica, and Stacy for coming on the meeting. I appreciate it. I really hope that people start coming back on the meetings again. I feel like last week or the week before we had a bunch of people, which was awesome. But I know people are back at work, back in school, and then soon you guys are going to be back. Oh, you're back. Okay. Sort of. Okay. Well, here they're back. I know my friend lives up north. She lives actually in New York, and she did like Monday, Tuesday, they alternated days and stuff like that or whatever, right? Okay. Yeah, so hopefully they'll start building up again with the meetings, everybody getting back in their rhythms. Summer will be over. I know this is very, very far away, but from February 28th to March 20th, I will be in Asia for 3 weeks. Very cool, right? Singapore, Hong Kong, Bangkok, Vietnam, Thailand. So I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to take guest meeting people because there's no way I'll be a day and a half ahead of you guys. Like it's Thursday night right now there. So there's no way for me to hold the meeting. So if anybody that is on this meeting right now would love to host a meeting on a Wednesday night while I'm not here, I think it's 3 Wednesday nights. Start thinking about it now. I know it's very far away, but I'm already planning, just so I know what's going on. I'll help you with the meeting. So it would actually be the 3rd, the 10th, and the 7th. No, just kidding. The 5th, the 12th, and the 19th are the 3 weeks. If we have to miss a week, that's okay. And if I have to move it to another day, I might do that. But I don't want to not have the meeting for those 3 weeks. And we can talk about the topics, whatever you guys want to do. The person that does host a meeting, I don't like get a free session because then you don't have any buy-in. But I will give that person a $25 gift card to Amazon. So, all right. So that's that. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Stacey, I hope you are going to be hosting a meeting while I'm not here. And I hope you guys have a great night. Remember, always be badass. Bye, everyone.